The last part of section 7.5 is learning how to solve logarithmic equations. We just looked at solving exponential equations. Now we're going to solve log equations. Here's example number 1. Solve log of 4x minus 3 plus 7 is equal to 9. Over on the right, I wrote all the steps. First of all, just like an exponential equation, get rid of all the numbers that are not inside the log function. Well, again, I color-coded my problem. The numbers that are inside the log function are underlined here in black because they're in parentheses. Those are inside the log. But the plus 7 on the outside is not. So I'm going to minus 7 from both sides first. Okay, very good. Now, what I'm going to do is write my problem. What's left? Log of 4x minus 3 is equal to 2. Now it becomes kind of complicated as far as the understanding part. But step 2, take the base of the log function. All right, so what's the base of the log function? Well, it's not written there. In a prior video, you learned then if it's not there, the base is 10. Take the base of that log function and now use it as the base on both sides of the equation. In other words, the log equation that I have written in black will now become the exponent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a big number 10, since that's the base, and log of 4x minus 3 is going to be now the exponent. And I'm also going to do it on this side so that the square is now the exponent. Now, why does that work? Well, remember, logs and exponents are inverses, meaning they undo each other. They cancel each other out. So this log base 10 and the big blue 10 are going to cancel each other out, leaving me with the equation 4x minus 3 is equal to 10 squared. And we all know 10 squared is equal to 100. Now I have an equation I can solve. So I just add 3 to both sides, and I get 4x equals 103, and then I divide by 4, and I find out I get 25.75. Now, if you would take 25.75 and stick it in there for x, you would find out that the log of 4 times 25.75 minus 3, this piece right here, will become the number 2. And then 2 plus my 7 equals 9, and it checks. And that, people, is how you solve a log equation. Now, if you notice in this particular case, it was written as a single log. That's when you can solve a log equation, when it's a single log. Now I'm going to show you a case where it's not single. Example 2. The log of base 4 of x minus 3 plus the log base 4 of x is equal to 1. Here's a situation where I've got 2 logs. Well, this is then where your first step is you need to use your properties of logs, and you need to make it a single log. Since it's add, that means I'm going to times the 2 pieces together that I underline and write it as a single log. Log base 4 of x minus 3 times x is equal to 1. Well, I'm going to times these pieces together and distribute. So I get log base 4 of x squared minus 3x is equal to 1. All right, now, as I did on the prior slide, which I'll go back to here, the prior slide, now I've got to do step 2 where I do these, I take the base and I make it the base of the equation. So in our problem, our base is now a 4, which means I use 4 as the big number, and what's in blue is now my exponent. So base 4 and log 4 will cancel out. And my equation becomes x squared minus 3x equals 4 to the first power, which is 4. Okay, now I got to solve this equation. Let's use our prior knowledge. It is a square, which means this is a quadratic equation. So in order to solve a quadratic equation, we need to make it equal to 0. So I'm going to minus 4 from both sides and make it equal to 0. Now, how do you solve a quadratic? Well, good review for us. You got one of two ways. Either you can use the song, dot, da, 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 etc., which is called the quadratic formula, or you can use the method that works part of the time, which is factoring. Now, in this case, if you inspect it, it is factorable. So I can throw in my two sets of parentheses. Here I have an x and an x, because x times x is x squared. The minus sign there means the signs are opposite. Two numbers that times together to give you 4 are minus 4 and plus 1. And there we go. Here are two factors. Make our two factors equal to 0. And when you solve it, you get x equals negative 1 is one of the solutions of this problem, or x equals positive 4 is the other solution. So this problem actually has two solutions, negative 1 and positive 4. And that's how you solve a log equation.